Hi guys, DK here from KaroroCAM. Today I'm going to be taking you through one last CNC machining process we can do with this surfboard project that we have been working on through this series. And that was, I had a question come through saying how would we go about cutting this board out of this block. Like, instead of doing it manually, how would we CNC cut this out? Which was an excellent question, and what I will take you through is actually using the Trace Toolpath, which for all intents and purposes allows us to sort of custom create a toolpath using a Rhino curve. So I'm going to go, this is the board, or the deck of the board, which was our last the last machining process from the last video, and this would be the point where we would be ready to trim this out. So I'm going to go to shaded view. I'm going to turn off the indexing for the moment, and I'm going to turn on this trim out curve. Now this is a curve that I have created in Rhino, and it is it is based on an offset of 6.5 millimeters from the wide point of the board, or the silhouette of the board. If we go to the top view and go to wireframe, you can see that this curve is offset all the way around the board by that 6.5 millimeters. Now, and then I have projected that curve onto the bottom surface of this 4 millimeter edge that we added to the 3D model. And then to allow the blank to still remain somewhat supported within the block as we trimmed it out, I've actually created these 50 millimeter gaps at 6 points around the outside of the board, and these will be tabs that will be left in this perimeter that I'll just have to trim off later. So the idea behind this is to just let the machine trim the board out to the outline and just leave the minimum amount of material to actually manually trim it out. So I've created, in creating these gaps, I've actually put some angle to these lines, and that will just allow the tool bit to sort of enter on an angle rather than plunging straight down into that thin 4 millimeter piece of foam. So now that we have that, we can turn our deck machining back on so we can see where we're at. And I'm going to launch KaroroCAM, and as usual this will take a minute or so to load up. And the first thing I'll have to do is go into our machine setup, and we're at 96 millimeters is our stock thickness, and we're stock top, the Z offset is 0, and our indexing size is this 2400 by 1200. If we turn our indexing on, that all matches up perfectly. So we can now go to Toolpath, and we're going to 3D Trace. Now with the 3D Trace toolpath, turn off effectively this allows KaroroCAM to basically just create a toolpath where the center tip of the tool just follows a curve that you've created in Rhino. It is really the simplest kind of toolpath, because it literally just mimics any curve that you create in Rhino. Now with this curve I've split the end here, and that's so that we can this we'll start here, and then we'll finish above here. We'll leave this piece here. So we didn't need, this curve does not, or with Trace Toolpaths, the curves are not typically closed. So we're on 3D Trace. The tool position is going to be in the center. So we're going to have the tool bit centered on this line. I'm going to use a flat end mill of 12.7 millimeters. Tool number and spindle speed we won't change. There's no stock change, no cutting depth, and we won't be using multiple depths. We'll simply be going in and removing. Now, the bottom of this curve I've set a few millimeters below that 4 millimeter surface, so we know that the tool bit will plunge all the way through, all the way around. So once we're there, we can simply move this to the 3D trace, and the toolpath will be defined for us. So I'm just going to turn that layer off, and you can see this is where the tool bit will be moving around. And if we go to preview, we can slow that down a little bit, and then we can turn on our deck machining. We can actually see this moving around. One thing we can do here, we can pause this. I actually go to manual. I'm going to turn off the router, so we're only looking at the tool bit, and we'll turn off our stock. And if we manually move through here a little bit and go to the top view, we can see here. So I made this line 6.5 millimeters from the wide point, which and we've got a 12.7 millimeter bit. So there is a 0.15 millimeter offset here from the final edge of the board that we'll just need to sand back. So we can move around a little bit further, and you can see that's consistent all the way around the board. That we're just cutting a little bit outside, and we're rising up, and we'll be leaving the material under these green lines at 6 points all the way around the board. So that's all looking good. I can now come here. I'll go to post-process. We'll be using a rich auto machine, and I can save this G-code. There we have it, guys. There's using the Trace Toolpath to do effectively a custom toolpath within KaroroCAM to do this to do the trim out on or to break this board free of the rest of the foam block. I hope you found that useful, and as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to put them in the comments below, or you can email us KaroroCAM@gmail.com. Thanks very much.